What's happening, friends? Welcome back for another episode of Waynecast, the triumphant return. Chris Williams, welcome back.
Hello.
The suspension is over.
Yep.
8,
Not in trouble anymore.
8 weeks.
Yep.
What did you do that you had 8 weeks off of this show?
All kinds of stuff, man. So I guess it was just kind of bad timing. We've had like 2 Friday storms, at least, where the road is too scary to drive on. Well, I drive a Dodge Volt, so like my car is as big as like a shoebox.
Chevy Volt.
What? Oh, a Dodge. Yeah, sorry. My last car was a Dodge.
It's
so
a hybrid.
Right, yeah. So those hybrid models. It's still tiny though.
Yeah.
So it's super teeny tiny, and I'm terrified to drive it in the ice. And so I usually work from home on those days and just crush websites. So that happened 2 or 3 times maybe? And then took a couple days off for just different things. And then, so usually Fridays are recording days, and that was that.
I can't remember who it was. I know one of the shows that I had done while you were gone.
Yeah.
I told them that weekend you were doing like a video game, new game had come out.
Yep.
I can't remember who it was because they were saying that they had played video games as well.
Okay.
And they were like, is he looking for a was it clan to team up with?
Oh, maybe.
I forget what it was.
Yeah, there's like guilds and stuff.
Guilds, that's what it was. Clan doesn't sound as
Yeah.
good.
No.
Well, that's what it was in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You'd have your clan tag.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing anymore, especially with all the
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it still is. Yeah.
Curious all the hot water they've been in lately.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So this game that I've been playing is called Lost Ark, if I'm going to nerd out on you guys.
Do it.
It came out, it's been in Korea for like 4 years now. And then they had some Russian servers, and then they had some, what was it? Yeah, I think just Korean and Russian and maybe Chinese servers.
Okay.
So people have been clamoring for it. Like there's a bunch of my friends that have even like joined the Korean servers and then downloaded like translator packs and stuff just to play this game. And it just finally came out. Amazon Games picked it up and published it for the US. And it was, I don't know the exact stats, but it was very big, over 1 million concurrent players.
Yeah.
And even like, I think it's probably 3 weeks after release now, there's still 1 million concurrent players. So, which is huge. That's like World of Warcraft days when it first came out.
Okay.
So like a lot of people are playing this game. And so a bunch of my buddies, I have like this whole group of buds that play games from all over the country, get together and have like a holiday on release day. We all jump in and play together, and it's a lot of fun. So,
Now I was doing some research as you were talking. This is PC only?
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And no, you don't think it'll ever go to like a major platform like
I don't think so.
Sony or
Yeah,
Microsoft?
no, just I think the control limitations, because you need like a full keyboard to play it. So
Okay. Got it. So that kind of brings me, you and I had went to Kentucky this week.
Yep.
Came back, and on the way home, I think we were talking about the differences between podcasting and streaming.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought that'd be a really interesting, just kind of a quick sideline for our first episode back.
Sure,
Is
yeah.
just kind of talking about the differences, because I think I would say I probably listen to more podcasts than
Right.
you, and
Yep.
you watch more streamers
Right. For
than
sure.
I do.
Yep.
And I guess 30-second rundown. So if someone is like, give me a breakdown on how streaming works. It was weird. The door kind of just creaked for a minute, like someone was coming in
Telling
here.
you, it's the ghost.
You guys keep saying that.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it's Grant. Maybe he's like, I see you guys have an open mic.
Busting the door. Oh yeah.
So, like a 30-second rundown. So someone is like, give me a rundown of like how somebody would watch a video game streamer, or what the
Sure.
purpose of that would be, just to educate the audience a little.
Yep. So usually on the older audience side, or like when I tell my parents, like, oh yeah, I'm watching a video game stream, and they're like, let me get this straight. You're watching a person play video games. Why don't you just play the video game?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, why can't you do both? But usually it's the entertainment factor. You're watching this high competitive player, or someone that's like really entertaining to watch. They're either funny or just really good at the game, or both. Just play the game, and you're there in a chat room watching other people watch the game, and it's just a lot of fun. So you're just, usually it's really long form entertainment. So kind of like podcasts, where like a 3-hour podcast is long.
Yeah.
Now, these streamers are doing like 8-12-hour streams.
Yeah.
And you're watching them play this game the entire time, or just, pop in and out, whatever you're doing. So,
And I have some trivia for you, because I was
Okay.
just looking up a couple of things.
yeah.
So for Twitch.
Yep.
And so what are the main platforms that people watch on? So I guess we'll start there before I get
think
into that.
now it's Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook are like the big three.
Okay.
Microsoft had Mixer, but that fizzled out quickly. So
a Microsoft product didn't
yeah.
work.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm shocked.
Yep.
All right. So on Twitch, so there's 2.4 million concurrent streamers on average at any time, like people watching.
Yeah.
Not people streaming, but just people watching the streamers. So 2.4 million people at any given time on average are watching on the Twitch platform.
Okay.
Now, the number that I was shocked by is how many people do you think the average streamer has watching them? So if you have like the people that are at 0 and the people that are in the millions, what do you think the average number is?
I'd say like 1,500.
It's 27.
27.
Which tells me there's a lot of zeros.
There is a lot of zeros. Yeah. If you go through like some of those games, like if you hit up, they're separated, at least on Twitch, they're separated in different games. So I could go to that Lost Ark stream and drop, to the bottom of the list, and there's tons and tons of zeros. But, there's that 1 or 2 or 5 people that are averaging the 50, 60,000. And that's where all those people are.
Okay. Now, again, I haven't watched. So Mr. Beast Gaming is probably the only channel I've watched somebody actually do like video games on.
Yep.
And it seems that he has, obviously it's Mr. Beast and he's the most popular YouTuber ever probably. Right. But he has sponsors and people that will sponsor segments of the stream.
Yep.
Is that pretty common with bigger streamers?
Oh yeah. Usually like, there'll be like, it's called variety streaming. So like when a new game comes out, that company will sponsor that person's stream for a certain amount of time. So like, when Lost Ark came out, they could be like, okay, for the next 4 hours, we're going to pay you to promote this, promote people going to the store to buy the game, buy the microtransactions that come with it, and, promote the game.
Okay.
So,
all right. So on the video game streaming platform, you have 2.5 million people that are watching at any given time on that platform. And that doesn't count YouTube and Facebook and all the other, B tier, streaming platforms that there are. Switching gears to podcasting, that is a media source. It's Variety Hour. You can do anything. We're doing one right now.
Right.
And it's interesting how those two platforms have risen to prominence. And you and I were talking about this a little bit, and I think you're right. Video game streaming definitely was predated podcasting.
Sure.
Just because people would be able to stream their own games online and have people watch.
Right. Yeah.
And then podcasting really started to catch fire between 2007 and 2010.
Yep.
It's interesting how both of those platforms have grown, and even Twitch. I think it was in 2018. It was about 1 million concurrent streamers.
Yeah.
So in 4 years, it's more than doubled.
Right.
And it's continuing to go up and up. Mm-hmm. So you have two media platforms that people are like, well, what's a podcast or what's a video game stream? And they've essentially blown typical media out of the water.
Right.
CNN would kill to have 2.5 million people watching their prime time hour.
Yep.
Or just to have that many users interacting with what they're doing in a given day. Mm-hmm. And I think that says a lot for where we're at right now with people's mentality when it comes to media and entertainment.
Right.
And Mr. Beast, I think, has opened my eyes the most to this because he's gotten billions of views on his channel. And granted, the production value of his videos are going up, like that Squid Game.
Right. Oh, yeah. Huge.
Yeah, it was a $2.5 million video to make.
Wow.
It was like, I think it was $2 million for construction and $500,000 for the prize money, something like that.
Yeah.
And,
or for the people that haven't seen that, this guy goes and recreates the entire Squid Game Netflix show and then invites, what was it? Like 500 viewers.
It was whatever the number in the Squid Game was.
Yeah.
It was like, what was,
493 or 490, some weird number. But yeah, so he invited that many viewers just in some random contest to come out. He flies them out to LA or wherever this was and basically play out all of these different Squid Games, non-lethal Squid Games.
I was gonna say, and just like in Squid Game, he killed all but one.
Right. Yep. And that one walks away with all the money.
Yeah.
So.
And he did it in American dollars, so that way we don't have to do math. So thanks for that. It's like 46 billion won. It's like, that's like $18. Awesome. Right. Good deal. Yep. So you have people like that are just dwarfing what, the media is doing in turn, just into the mainstream media. And all of that to say, podcasting, video game streaming, and even social media platforms where people are having networks and communities are doing much better than traditional media that has billions of dollars flowing through it to make it operational. Then you have, a Joe Rogan and a Jamie running 90 million views.
Yep.
Like that's gotta be frustrating.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Or like typical streamers that are literally just a gaming PC you buy off the shelf and a camera.
Yeah.
You just go for it.
Yeah. And there doesn't need to be a ton of marketing behind it. Like there certainly can be. Like the thing that caught my attention the most was like when a video game streamer was doing Samsung commercials. It was Ninja.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. And
I'm like, well, why?
Yeah.
And then it didn't make any sense to me. And then
I
was like, okay, I get it. So he has such a platform and a following,
yeah,
and they're trying to sell video gaming through mobile devices.
right.
And it just starts to make sense as the people that are following that person more likely to buy the Samsung phone and do video gaming on mobile. Do you video game on mobile at all?
Just dabble. Usually video games on mobile are more like microtransaction based, where it's like, I'm sure everybody played Candy Crush, when you run out of lives, it's like, hey, pay $7 to get more lives. So like that's mobile games in a nutshell. So like you're usually shelling out money to keep playing or to buy more tokens or whatever it is.
Yeah. Now the only video game that I play on mobile is Call of Duty.
Sure.
Because I can link my Xbox controller to my iPad.
There you go.
And apparently that's cheating.
Yeah. I think
because I'm on there dominating with like 52 kills
smoking
and 1 loss.
Playing with their thumbs.
Because my nephew wanted to play and he's like, all right, let's play. He's like, I'm here, and so we logged in and I just dominated.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how are you doing that so fast? And I was like, what do you mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's using a controller.
Right.
You can't do that. And I was like, no, it tells you if you're using one in the lobby. Like it has a little icon.
Yeah.
It's out in the open.
Mm-hmm.
And now I guess
the game mechanics.
Right. And now I guess they're linking. So I went on to play like probably 3-4 months ago.
Sure.
And they're now just grouping people.
Yeah.
This is the controller group. I guess people are getting too upset. Mm-hmm. But how do you play with your fingers? Like that's impossible.
Yeah, it's tough. I think they're doing that more in like console games now. Now more that cross-platform is a thing, or like PC players are being able to play with console players. They're splitting those, those rounds with mouse and keyboard players and controller. Because if you get good with mouse and keyboard, you're going to be like what you are to Android, or the tablet players and controllers are what controllers to mouse and keyboard are. So
yeah, that's another one. Cause I've seen you play, and then I've seen other people play with mouse and keyboard, and they're just like rolling through people.
It's insane. Yeah.
And I'm over here like, I can't close a Chrome tab fast enough.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just a different world now. And I think as, we talked about Linus and his new media ventures from Linus Tech Tips, and how he's kind of getting away from big tech reviews and he's creating his own independent shop. This is kind of another thread on that, which is more and more people are going to start subdividing the things they care about. And it's not going to matter how much money the company has. It's how much value the individual is giving to the end user.
Right. Yep.
Because money and advertising, like it's all super helpful and it brings awareness. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, you just lack transparency. And that's why podcasters are getting way more views than media. That's why streamers, if I would have said to you, hey, 2.5 million people are watching this one platform right now. Yeah. 5 to 10 years ago, I would have been like, no way. Yeah. Yep. And now look where we are. Mm-hmm. So what do you think the next 2 to 3 years is gonna bring up? As you mentioned, cross-platform gaming and mobile gaming. What do you think we're going to be moving into?
I think it's just going to get bigger. So like Twitch and podcasting, all of these new medias are going to get bigger and bigger. And then, I think they're going to get more mobile. And then, because you can't really watch a stream on the go. So I think that's where podcast kind of takes the lead there. Because you can listen to podcasts wherever you go. You can't really pop open a stream. And so...
You can't do that while you're driving?
I mean, I guess you could.
You shouldn't. Right? You should not do that while you're driving.
Tesla, autopilot.
There you go. Unofficial plug.
Right.
Unofficial sponsor.
Right. I'm not looking for a new car or anything.
Right.
Something that can handle 1.5 inches of snow.
Yeah. I mean, 1.5 inches. Well, you're plowing the roads for the people with your Dodge Volt.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think I'm excited. I'm always interested. The other day we had a note from one of our clients, and they said, when you look at my podcast on Spotify, it shows up as a video podcast, but no video is playing. Now, Spotify has not rolled out video to podcasters yet. So I think that's an interesting bug that he discovered.
Yeah.
And it's gone now. They fixed it. But it's coming, where they're anticipating an MP4 file to be uploaded to Sounder or Blueberry or Anchor.
Yep.
And that's going to be pushed to the stream. So like everything I've been talking about for the last year is coming, and I'm super excited about it because that's going to change everything. YouTube is going to get hit. People aren't going to watch for podcasting on that platform as much. It's not like YouTube's going to go away.
Sure.
But it's just going to be, people are going to be much more spread out across the platforms that matter to them.
Yep.
And that gets me excited. And Twitch, so does Twitch, and again, this is me just being super ignorant, does Twitch have a mobile app?
Oh, yeah.
That you can sit and watch and, okay.
Yeah. So it's basically just like the browser broken down. So.
Okay.
Just like YouTube, really.
Because I've seen, because it's not just video gaming on Twitch either, right? Because I've seen like news shows and politics and, you know, there's a bunch of crazy stuff on there, I'm sure.
Yep. Anything that you want, really. There's like just talking, and there's, you know, all that stuff where there's board games. So like there's some, you know, tabletop games where they just set up a camera in the corner of the room and they'll just play Monopoly for 12 hours.
Until someone gets beaten to death.
You know, until they're actually homeless.
Yeah, right. And then, because I've seen people all the time say like, hey, you know, donate a membership or donate a subscription. And I imagine that's kind of like on YouTube where you can do subscriptions now.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So Twitch they're bought by Amazon now. I don't know when that happened, but yeah, they're owned by Amazon. And if you have Amazon Prime, each month you get a Twitch Prime subscription. So it's just a free Prime sub to give out to any of your favorite streamers for free.
Okay.
And so it just comes with your Prime subscription.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that kind of gets people in the door of subscribing, because there's some perks to being a subscriber to some streamers. You subscribe to your favorite streamer and you get those like emotes that you can use in chat. So it's just, you know, whatever stupid little emojis, and you can take them to other chats if you want.
Okay.
So
just more engagement for that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And then that streamer gets a cut.
Yeah.
So
Apple did that recently so now when you're registering a podcast through the Apple Connect platform, you can choose whether or not it's a subscription.
Oh, okay.
So you can say, I want to charge for this podcast. So someone searches it and goes to click on it. They have to subscribe through Apple Pay to listen. Nice. So it's kind of like Patreon, but without all of the tiered benefits and whatnot.
That's great.
So I'm anxious to see if like Spotify is already a premium platform in order to listen with no ads. Like if they're going to roll out more tiered subscriptions like Patreon does.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So a lot of cool stuff, man. So, all right. So that is going to wrap up podcasts and streaming. It's not even a versus episode. It's just, I'm excited about both things.
Yeah. Both are
like
really cool.
They're both really cool, and they're both changing the way that people consume media and learn about things.
Yep.
I remember during COVID when Trump was doing a press conference every day, and it was like 15 days to slow the spread. Now it's been 2 years. Right. Everyone's doing great. Like every day there was a streamer that was coming on, and he kept referencing Twitch. I think that was where he was going from, but then it was porting over to YouTube.
Sure. Yep.
And he was just he did a really nice job of covering like the day-to-day activities. And, you know, for me as a business owner, like here's everything you need to know about for regulations. Here's how they're changing things for taxes or PPP or whatever it is.
Okay. That's cool.
So I watched him every day at like 5:00 he went on. And he kept mentioning, that's where I learned like all my very limited Twitch knowledge from, because he kept referencing things I couldn't see.
Okay.
But that was just neat. It was neat to see people engaging. And then as each day went on, he had like 2-3 million people watching across all platforms by the time the streams kind of came to their peak.
Yep.
So this is really neat. So it's an exciting time. It's exciting for me, and I'm sure for you as well, to see all this new technology and to see people using it, and also to see it not all being on just Facebook or all just being on, LinkedIn, which it never will be, but sorry, LinkedIn. Yeah. But yeah, man, anything else before we wrap up?
No, I think that's good. I'm excited to see everything grow. Like you're saying, like I really hope to see Spotify grow, because usually it's like the ease of the platform for me is what's going to get me in.
Yeah.
So if it's super easy to jump into my favorite, streamer or, podcaster, whatever it is, even, if they have a paywall, as long as that process is nice and easy, that's going to do it for me.
That's awesome. Yeah. And there's one more thing that you said that made me think. So is that where you listen to most things on Spotify?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Spotify just overtook Apple as the main podcast distributor. And that was in October, I think.
Okay.
So they're beating them by like a 0.5 percentage point. But that was the first time Apple's ever lost the #1 spot for where people listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, Spotify was just the first one that I decided to dive into, and that's the first one I learned. And so I've played around with Apple before, and it's backwards. So it's kind of Windows and Apple. So it's like I don't know where the close button is. And
well, I listen to Apple podcasts, and I listen to them more on Spotify now as I'm finding more people on there. And it used to be on Spotify, it was music, and podcasts were just in there.
Right.
They weren't ever separated. Then last year they started splitting the feeds.
Okay.
Where you can click music and podcast. Apple Podcast to me has always been good, but Apple Music, they got to fix it. It's kind of like the voicemail app on the iPhone. It's like, why does this still suck?
Yep. Yeah, they got to figure that out.
For sure. So, all right, man. Well, cool. I'm glad you're back. We're going to knock out a couple more, and hopefully you don't have to take another 8-week hiatus.
Right,
so keep your nose clean. We'll have to suspend you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap up this week's edition of Waynecast. Appreciate y'all listening. Have a great week. Take care.